Hi everyone, this is Jeje and welcome to Be Colorful. With the first video of this 2022, I gonna continue with the Shadow Book card series, which started with this elegant wedding card. This time I gonna pick up the dies of the Tonic Craft Kit number 27 for a very magic fairy book card. This card is very elaborate. In fact, I made it for my mom's birthday, a special card for an even more special person. Let's start with the creation of the cover for the Shadow Book card. Since I want to use the largest die included in the kit, I need a Shadow Book card large enough to hold it. So, not having long enough cardstock for the cover, I'm going to cut out two panels that I will then join. The two panels each measure 5.5 by 6.5 inches. On both, I made half-inch fold lines. For the inside, however, I need a 5.5 by 7.5 inches panel. I then made 3 fold lines, one at half inch, one at 6.5 inches, and one at 7 inches. On the front of the cover, I'm going to create a window with a circle die. I'm gonna get the center of the cover so that I can place the die in a very central position. And I'm going to die cut with my big shot machine. As you can see, the measures I have chosen for the Shadow Book card fit the size of my die cutter machine. Now I'm gonna create the cover for the cover of this Shadow Book card using a special embossed copper colored paper from Tonic Studios. I get two panels, one for the front, that is 5.5 by 7 inches, and one for the back, that is 5.5 by 6 inches. On the front panel I'm going to make a 6-inch fold line. And I also create the circle window perfectly aligned with the white panel. Between the two panels of the front, I'm going to glue a piece of vellum, thus creating an opaque glass of the window. I'm going to attach the copper panel on the front of the cover. And before I finish assembling all the pieces, I'm going to stamp the sentiment using a stamp from the set included in the Tonic Craft Kit number 35. For stamping, I'm gonna use the black STENCILS. STENCILS are fast-drying types of ink, suitable for many types of surfaces. Even for vellum, on which using normal inks, you risk that the stamp will never dry and will not be permanent. If you don't have this kind of ink, you can emboss your stamp with a clear embossing powder. Now I'm gonna create all the decorative elements for the cover. a frame that I gonna emboss with an embossing folder. And for the corners I'm gonna use a special die. This is from the Tonic Craft Kit number 15. It's time to assemble the cover. I join the front and the back, applying the glue only on the creasing. I'm going to glue the copper cover on the back. And finally stick the decorative corners and the circular frame. Next, I'm gonna complete the sentiment by adding the word Dream with one of the dies included in the Tonic Craft Kit 35, creating the sentence Follow Your Dream. I decided to apply antique linen distress ink to get a vintage look for my fairy book. I also add a few drops of the same color, diluting it with a little water. Well, the cover is ready. Now let's move on to the inside of the shadow book card. My plan is to create a fairy tale night scene at various levels. So, first of all, I'm going to die cut a circle window. Obviously, I'm going to apply antique linen in the inside to get the same look and feel as the cover. And I also add some background details using this text stamp without care about getting a perfect impression. With the largest circle die included in the kit and its coordinated die, I'm gonna create a decorative frame on green mirror paper with a satin finish. Okay, now to make the second layer, I'm going to create another inner panel out of blue satin paper that is 5.5 by 7 inches. I make two fold lines, one at ½ inch and one at 6.5 inches. Then I'm gonna create a window by aligning the two levels and using these other two dies of the kit. For the third layer, I decided to use black satin paper. I always make a 5.5 by 7 inches panel and draw two fold lines, always at ½ inch and 6.5 1.5 inches. I align the two levels and die cut a window using this die, thus creating the outlines of a wood scene. Now let's move on to creating the last layer, which is the background of the scene. First, using a circle die, I make a mask that I will need to create the moon. This is a special sheet for making masks. I remove the protective film and I apply the mask to a piece of white cardstock. With the masking technique, we can cover a portion of paper that we don't want to color. So now I'm gonna create the sky, a sunset to be exact, by applying the distress inks with a blending sponge. I started from antique linen. I then switch to a dark pink, Victorian velvet. Then I apply a dark blue, chipped sapphire. Finally, I'm going to apply black ink. I'm going to intensify the colors and blend them well with each other. Then I'm gonna make a few splashes, diluting a little bit of white gesso with water, thus creating the stars for my sky. To create a luminous halo around the moon, I'm going to apply a little white ink with a blending brush. And now it's time to remove the mask. Look what an amazing effect this is achieved. A glow in the dark effect. Before assembling everything, I'm going to shorten the flaps of the two intermediate panels, and I'm gonna glue the layers of my fairy scene. Well, now I'm going to add the silhouette of the fairy, but in addition to the wings that have been die cut, I will put some vellum wings using one of the butterfly dies from the Tonic Craft Kit 29. I'm going to heat embossing the wings with a glitter embossing powder, just to add a splash of magic. And I glue the fairy on top of the mushroom. Finally, I'm going to add a debossed sentiment to the side of the book. And a nice happy birthday in green satin paper inside the shadow book card. This card and here, but if you want to add a really special touch, I'd say this card is very magical. This fairy light make it super special. They are really very cheap and the batteries can be easily replaced. I hope you enjoyed this project, and for this new year, continue to follow your dreams, because sooner or later, if we want, all dreams come true. And this is what I wish you, to have the tenacity to make them happen. So thank you for joining with me. See you next time. Bye bye and be colorful.